Today on Breaking Views, we're talking about mining company BHP Billiton's decision to delay its $20 billion Olympic Dam project. With me is Robert Cole. Morning, Robert.
Hiya.
Let me just get one thing straight. It's a delay, not a cancellation.
Yeah, it's a delay. It's
Okay.
it's not a cancellation. I mean, this, as far as I'm aware, is broad open fields at the moment anyway. You know, the ore that is there is a long way underground.
Yeah.
What had been agreed is that they would develop this site and it would cost them $20 billion, and that's a guesstimate, over a very long period of time.
And Kevin Allison, who wrote this piece, his point is, right thing to do in this environment, given the prices, but a number of investors are calling for increased dividend payments, and he's saying, hold off. This is a long-term business. This money needs to go back in.
No, absolutely. It's absolutely wise that, you know, BHP Billiton should be showing sensitivity to the situation. You know, at the end of the day, you know, there's no point in getting ore out of the ground if there isn't any demand for it. And yeah, it's quite sensible to take its foot off the pedal. No need to spend this money, not least because it's not getting the money in from selling the ore in the first place. But I think you've got to be really careful. You don't immediately then say, okay, as an investor, I want money back. You know, that you're saving money. Which investors
in BHP Billiton have been saying.
Absolutely, no, and across the industry as well. It's this kind of sort of binary kind of, well, you're not spending the money, give it back to me.
Yeah.
No, that's too simplistic. It seems to us. What you should be saying is, yeah, let's support the management for being a little bit cautious, but let's also support the management for having the length of vision to actually continue at a slower pace with investment. Because, I mean, the mining industry is very famous for these enormous, great big swings in volatility.
Sure. And do we know that they're not giving the money back?
Indeed, the dividend has been is lower than was expected, I think.
Okay.
So actually, they're conserving cash, and that's right thing to do in a short-term perspective. But in a longer-term perspective, you know, these companies have got to keep the push on.
Yeah.
On investment. I think it's really important to note, you know, 10 or 15 years ago, you know, there was a slump in world demand for minerals, and what mining companies did was pull back on investment in a very, very big way, and that was part of the reason why the prices of commodities have been higher than might otherwise be wise over the last 10 or 15 years. So I don't think we need to fall into the same trap again. We need to keep the pressure on. We need to keep it going, but keeping it in a nice, sober, gentle, adult kind of way. The companies need to be adult about their spending plans, and the investors need to be adult in supporting them.
All right,
too.
Very quickly, BHP Billiton aside, very quick comment on Lonmin, where you stand now on this whole issue and what they've done, and is it right, etc., etc.
Well, the link here is that actually what seems to be one of the basic problems, or one of the basic issues, is that Lonmin's mines are underinvested in, and they are not as good as they might be. I think they've got some state-of-the-art mines, but they've got some which are pretty ramshackle. And that, you know, if these mines had more money, had greater capital expenditure spent on them, we might not be in this awful situation. And it is an awful situation, and it's one where, you know, no one can pretend otherwise, but you know, I'm really concerned, and I think we might get to this a bit later on in the week. Are shareholders really going to be backing Lonmin? Is the state management, is the state going to keep on its side? I know it's got tremendous difficulties, not least that in an entirely unconnected situation, its chief executive is very unwell. But at the end of the day, you know, it's very hard to see an easy solution, or any kind of solution, in fact, for Lonmin out of this one.
Robert, thanks very much indeed. Robert Cole. For more agenda setting insight, watch our US Breaking Views show. That comes on every day, 12:30 Eastern, 17:30 BST. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.